So here's the quick process in terms of day 1, day 2, day 3 in terms of our construction timeline. Once we have a go, we have a permit, we're ready to get started. Day 1 typically is lay the pool out, paint it out on the ground, put our stakes in, our survey stakes, get our elevation, get all of that figured out, and then start excavation. And typically we can do layout and excavation in one day. Sometimes it takes a few days. In this particular yard it was 2 days because we had patio to break out, we had a yard to cut down to get to elevation so that we then could paint out the shape of our pool and then form it, or and then paint it, then get the elevations and get all of that set. So that it took us 2 days to dig, but typically it's 1 day. That's day number 1. Day number 2 then is deliver the steel panels, bolt those together, square them leveling, put any of the braces on, make sure our openings are right, because in this particular case, instead of having a fiberglass step that gets bolted in, we leave a space open for where the step is going to be. At the deep end, there's a deep end step. Instead of, if you had a deep end step in a traditional vinyl pool, you would just bolt either the 4-foot or 6-foot or 8-foot or whatever the step was at the deep end, bolt it to your panels, and away you go. In our case, we have to make sure that our curves are right and that there's enough space in between the panels and that everything is elevated, that everything is level, and then we'll pour the footing. Traditionally, just like you pour in a vinyl liner pool, you're pouring your bond beam around the back of the pool wall, but then we also pour concrete into the areas where we're going to be tying concrete and where we're going to be shooting concrete. And the reason we do that is that gives us a good base to work on. It allows us to then put some rod into the wet steel to start creating the shape, and it just makes that re-rod shell tighter because it's already, the pins are already cemented into the ground, so when we tie it all together, it's just firmer versus floating freely. So that's kind of the process. Day 1 is excavation layout. Day 2 is bolt the panels, deliver and then bolt the panels together, get that all square and level, and day 3 typically we're pouring the footing. Day 4 and day 5 we're tying steel, and then we need an inspection. So that's sort of that first phase. And after we get the inspection, which is in our region, it's called a footing inspection. And really it's not a footing, it's a bond beam. But nevertheless, that's what it's called here, is a footing inspection. After that inspection, then we can go ahead and rough plumb, form up, shoot the sun shelf and shoot the spa and the waterfall and the grotto and anything else that's going in the steps and all that stuff, and then build from there.